Wolf, I'm asking you to ask me the question who I want as the Suns head coach, and you're purposely being difficult.
Okay, who do you want, Paulie, for the Phoenix Suns and the hiring of their next head coach?
I don't care!
You set me all up for that?
It doesn't matter.
Come on.
Head coach is like 14th on my list of priorities right now.
Okay.
They have proven that the problems are way beyond a head coach. Whether it was Monty or Vogel or Bud. We told him to come in Bud heavy. He came in Bud light. But neither here nor there at this point. He gone. I just don't care about the head coach. It is so much more internal, endemic, intrinsic, whatever you want to say. They got to figure this out from the inside out.
Yeah, Paulie, I'm with you on that one right there.
And what did Diana Taurasi say not too long ago? That culture isn't something like you institute necessarily. Culture is really dependent on the players you bring in.
Oh,
of course.
Of course it is,
okay,
Paul.
So
you start with an idea, Paulie.
So
that's what you do.
So
and then you go get models to bring that in and model that culture.
So who's identifying those players? Who's acquiring those players? Who's generating the plan to add those players?
That's right, Paulie. Who's doing it?
Well, based on what we learned yesterday, it's Brian Gregory, who's been promoted from director of player programming. I'm not familiar. If you said there's a director of programming here at the radio station or a TV station, for example, director of programming, I get it. I'm familiar with that. What is player programming in the NBA?
Yeah, I have no idea what that is, Paulie. That's really interesting.
And you call yourself a talk show host?
Yeah,
what's going on?
I have no idea what you're talking about right there. Can I say this right now? Brian Gregory, I like the fact he was a coach. I like that. I'm putting that in the positive category right there. He's been a head coach for a long, long time, so I'm going to put that in the positive category.
19 years on the college level.
On the college level.
Dayton, Georgia Tech, South Florida.
Let's see. Do you think maybe he's got an NCAA mentality? Do you think he's got that? An NCAA tournament mentality? Like, you know what we're going to do? We're actually going to try on defense. That's what we're going to do. We're going to build. You know what they need more than anything else, Space Sidonians?
Lay it on me.
The Phoenix Suns need dogs. You're going to go out and get some dogs. They're going to fight you. Yeah, you know what? They're going to fight you on the perimeter. That's what they're going to do. They're going to fight you on the perimeter. They're going to fight you in the paint. They're going to actually take pride in playing great defense. That's what they're going to do. You know what, Paul? They're going to go ahead and get their butt out, get down in a stance, actually get a little flex in their back, and bend their knees. They're going to get their butt out and play some defense.
If you're not watching on YouTube, you really should be right now. Wolf is actually demonstrating. He's like he's running one of his youth football camps right now.
No, it gets me fired up, man. Play some defense. Like, care about playing defense. So much of that is just caring about it.
Don't look at me with that sort of recommendation. Dogs. I was the guy this time a year ago after they got trounced and punked by the T-Wolves 4-0. I had two big recommendations. One, find yourself a stinking point guard. They added two, then they didn't use them for some reason. Number two, you better figure out how to build this roster and this team for the new whistle. The end of last season, all of a sudden, there was a new mentality from the league, a new allowance by the officials. I mean, have you watched any of these playoff games?
Yes, Paul.
It is a throwback to the 80s and 90s.
Speaking of the NCAA tournament.
I'm waiting for Rick Mahorn to get off the bench. I'm waiting for, Anthony Mason or Charles Oakley to check into the game at this point.
Mahorn.
Bill Laimbeer.
Right. I mean, here comes a forearm shiver.
Laimbeer with a cheap shot.
Is there any team in the NBA who is more unequipped, ill-equipped for this new physical savage style of play,
Paulie,
especially in the postseason, than the Phoenix Suns? To me, the number one list, because what was the question again? Your to-do list? If you're
Brian Gregory.
Brian Gregory, thank you.
What's your mode of action, Paul?
If you're the former director of player programming, you got to figure out. You got to figure out how to get a physical team in here.
Okay. Here's what you do, Paulie.
Okay, thank you.
This is what you do right
Finally,
here.
It took us an hour and 10 minutes.
You're
going
over
to give
there
us an answer.
screaming and yelling, Paul. I have no idea what you're. Okay, look, the very first thing Brian Gregory has got to do is articulate what the culture of this organization is going to be.
Wolf.
No!
Wolf.
You've got to say it, Paul.
Wolf.
You have to say it first.
I don't want the ethereal.
It's
Paul.
culture. No.
Didn't we just establish culture
Paul.
is the player you bring in?
Please don't, Basinonians, don't listen to Paul. Don't listen to what he's saying right now. I kid you not.
Does this second floor
It's
window
wrong.
open? I'm going to fling myself out right now.
He's just dead wrong, and he doesn't know it. You have to think of how you want to play basketball. It has to be a thought, and then you speak it out of your mouth. You have to articulate what your culture is going to be. That is step number one.
But Wolf, we've heard that for 2+ years. We've heard the sound
Oh, no,
bites.
you have not.
Where are the results?
No, you have not. We've only heard from Matty Ish since the firings. We've only heard Matty Ish after the season start saying, you know what, we need change. And yeah, we do need change. And maybe that's why you hired Brian Gregory, because he represents all of that change, because you might actually listen to him.
But Mike Budenholzer was supposed to be
the
badass,
No.
the bad guy. He was supposed to be that guy, and it got worse.
Paul,
the lack of energy, the lack of physicality. Thank you, sir. May I have another? As you're getting punked game after game.
How many stories have you heard, Paulie? And this is based on, it's pure speculation. It is. He wasn't a popular guy in the organization.
Okay.
He wasn't. I don't think I'm breaking news by saying that. Okay?
So you're attributing maybe the most disappointing season in team history going back to 1968 to his Q rating.
If you would, yes, Paul, if you would just let me, you've got to articulate the culture of the organization, number one. And then you know what you do, number two, Brian Gregory? You hire a coach that is going to implement said culture, who believes the same thing you believe in how a team should play the game of basketball. So you go out and find a guy who's going to do that. And then you figure out, you look at your roster, Paul. Let's do what Paul does all the time.
By the way, Steve Nash.
Look at your roster.
Freaking Nash isn't even interested in the job. He won't even listen. He's going to TV, even though he lives here.
You're sidetracking me, and you're doing it on purpose. You take the paper, you look at it, and you say, who's going to be on our roster? What players are we going to bring in here who can actually execute the culture that we want here? And then, who can do that?
And then you look and you say, we're a second apron team. We don't have a lot of...
So you know what? Well, let's see. So
you know what? Can someone give me a stiff drink?
Bradley Beal's got to go. That's what's going to happen, Paul.
Beal has a no trade clause. Give me another drink. Make that a double.
Yeah, they're going to have to make something like that happen, Paul, and you're going to have to eat it, Matty-ish. Thank you very much for being a billionaire.
So because we're in one of the most dire situations in NBA team building history, we're going to bring in someone with a ton of experience who's been here and done that, a proven track record. No, we're going to get someone who's been in the NBA for less than 2 years and was a college head coach and was the director of player programming.
He's not playing, Paul.
Yeah. I hope they know something we don't.
Yeah.
I hope.
Like, I hope Brian Gregory knows the game.
But knowing the game and retooling the roster, Wolf, right, are two different things. Having the ability.
Hey, Paul. They got it.
To navigate the degree of difficulty that is in front of them.
Yes, we know what's coming.